Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Chrissy, and in today's tutorial, you're going to learn how to draft and cut a waist snatch corset with yoke and keyhole neckline. This tutorial is classified into two with two methods of achieving it. I'll share with you guys on how to cut with the method of attaching your skirt to the Basque waistline letter and the method on attaching your skirt directly to the Basque waistline. So let's get started if you want to know how to go about this. So guys, I already went ahead to draft out all my basic bodice line. I have my shoulder line, I have my chest line, I have my bust point, I have my under bust, I have my waistline and the full length of my blouse. As you can see, the next thing I did was to mark half of my shoulder measurement at the shoulder line and chest line. That's how I got this straight line you are seeing right here. The next thing I want to do is to go down by 1 inch for shoulder slope, and I'll connect my armhole curve just like this. Okay, so after doing that, next thing I want to do is to mark 3 inch to 3.5 inch for the neck width. Then I'll connect from the neck width to my shoulder slope just like this. After that, I'll mark half of my nipple to nipple, which is 3.5. I marked it at the chest line, waistline and blouse length or top length. Then I will connect those points to give me a straight line just like this. After that, from that bust point, I will go down by 1 inch. Then on the under bust, I will mark 1 inch on both sides. At the waistline, I'll mark 1 inch on both sides. At the top length, I'll also mark 1 inch on both sides. Then I will connect a straight line using those points. I'll also use my curve rule to connect half of my cup shape. From that 1 inch, you connect on both sides like this. Okay, so after you're done with that, you are going to determine how low or high you want your corset to be. So I want to make my 6.5 inch, and this also includes on how much cleavage you want to show. So I marked 6.5 inch and I label as new chest line, and also extend the straight line towards the upper part. I'll also mark 1 inch on both sides for over bust tightening. If you're busting, you can mark 1 inch on the center front and 1.5 inch on the other side. Okay, so from the new chest line, I went in by 1/2 inch and I had to extend from that point to the chest line. Okay, so this is the distance between the cup and the center front. So to achieve the full cup shape, I will place my curve rule like so. Then I will connect to the under bust just like a simi did here. The next thing I want to do is to achieve the cup on the other side. So to do that, I marked quarter of my bust circumference. You can see where it stopped. So I'll measure the distance I have from that point to the other point. The distance I have there is not even up to 1.5 inch, so I will divide it by 2. Then I'll mark the midpoint. From that midpoint, I went down by 1/2 inch. Okay, so I will extend a straight line towards the armhole side like so. Now I will place my curve rule to connect from that point to the other point. Okay, so you place it like so, connect from that point to this other side just like this. Then also, place your curve rule this way, then connect from that same point to your under bust. So this will give you your perfect curve size. So I have to label as cup 1 and 2 and also directions on how to join them. The next thing I want to do is to mark quarter of my bust measurement plus 1 inch for seam allowance. You can also mark 1.5 inch for seam allowance and also replace the dart. Okay, so at the waistline, I'll mark quarter of my waist measurement minus 1 inch for waist cinching, that is waist snatch. I minus 1 inch from my actual waist for waist cinching. Do you get? You place the dart of 2 inch plus 1 inch for your seam allowance. At the hip line, I will mark quarter of the hip measurement, replace the dart plus your 1 inch or 1.5 inch seam allowance, then connect your shape like so. After connecting, guys, you can see what I have here. The next thing I want to do now is from the bust point, I will come down by 1.5 inch for my bust dart. To get your bust dart, use the difference between your front half length and your back half length. You get? Whatever you had left is your bust dart inch. You get? So from that hemline, I went up by 1 inch and I had to connect to this dart leg, as you can see. So this is how you get your corset blouse that you attach skirt later to it, or when having a fitting section with your client. So if you want to attach directly on your skirt part, that means you have to create your basque effect. All right, the length for your back effect should be about 6 to 5 inch. Then also mark your seam allowance before you connect your basque effect. Okay, then close up your dart like so before cutting it out. Just like this, you close up your dart, you connect, then you cut out. So for the neck depth, I mark 3 inch to 3.5. Then you connect your round neckline. For the keyhole neckline, from that neck depth, you go down by 1 inch. Then you connect from that point to the second cup shape, as you can see. Now close up your dart to have a reconnection shape or line of that your corset, just this way, as you can see. You get. So once you are done with that, go ahead and cut it out. And if you are cutting the back effect, you should close up your dart before you do that. But for me, this tutorial, I will have to choose one. So the method I will be cutting now is a corset blouse method, that you can attach your waistline and also create the basque effect later on your client. That is the method I am cutting. So if you want to cut the other method, you should go ahead and cut the basque waistline I already drafted out before you now cut it out, as you can see. You get. If you don't understand what I'm saying, please watch what I'm doing here. So if you want to attach your basque waistline directly on the skirt, you should cut this out. To draft the back pattern, I've already drafted out my basic lines and have also cut my neck width of 1.5 inch, my neck depth of 1.5 inch, and my neck width of 3 inch or 3.5. Then connect your armhole curve. After doing that, you mark half of your nipple to nipple, which is 3.5. Then after marking, I'll subtract 1 inch from the waistline. I'll subtract 1 inch. Then I'll connect from the chest line to that point and also take it down. So once I'm through with that, the next thing I want to do now is to come down from that neck depth. I will go down by 1.5 inch. I want the back to also have a keyhole, like I want it open at the back. Okay, and for the width, I mark 3.5 inch. It's just the same thing with my nipple to nipple. Okay, I used the width for my nipple to nipple. So from that armhole, I went down by ½ inch. So I will have the same thing I have in front. Okay, so after connecting like so, I will also mark quarter of my bust measurement plus 1 inch seam allowance. At the waistline, I marked quarter of my waist measurement minus 1 inch for waist snatch. I replaced the dart and also add 1.5 inch, sorry, 1 inch for my seam allowance. And at the top length, I mark quarter of my hip measurement, replace the dart plus 1 inch for seam allowance. So after connecting, this is what I have. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to go up from that hemline by 1 inch. So I will connect to the dart leg using my curve rule like so. Can you see? So now that I'm done with that, next thing I want to do is determine how open I want the lacing bar to be. So I mark 2.5 inch. That's how much open I want it to be. Okay, then I have to make a straight line. That is where my eyelet will be sitting. So now that I'm done with that, next thing I want to do is from that chest line, I went down by 1 inch to avoid caping at the back of our blouse. So I will have to go ahead now to cut it out just like this. Okay, so I have my yoke already. As you can see, I've already labeled. Watch how I'm cutting this so you know exactly how to cut yours to avoid mistakes. So this is what you will have here after you are done, and this is the back. The neckline, you'll be attaching button to it. All right, so if you don't want a corset blouse, if you want a basque waistline that you can attach directly on your skirt, like you sew directly on your skirt, just add 1 inch to your waistline in front and 1 inch to your waistline in at the back, just like this. So once you are done with that, you go ahead and cut on your fabric, and you'll have it exactly looking like this. This is all for today's tutorial. Thank you for watching.